Welcome back to Learning the Hard Way. My name is Ollie and I run some of the companies on the doors behind me, as well as this one on my lovely new uniform. This week, Storm Owen is causing havoc across all of our sites, and I'm heading down to see our good friends at Hardwood Landscape Supplies to start picking out the materials for our Chelsea Flower Show trade stand.
We've had 50-mile-an-hour winds, we've had sideways hail, we've had thunder and lightning, and then what was effectively snow, and yeah, we're up to our knees in rain, so we've come back to try and do something that isn't involving cement and mortar because it's too much. Can't do anything. The slabs are flowing away. I'm getting warmed up with a nice Hardwood Landscapes cup of tea. Lovingly made by Ben, and it tastes perfect.
Possibly one of the best brews. Yeah, as Jack's just touched on, it was a bit of a washout today. We managed to get the morning under our belt, but it just got too intense. Basically couldn't really do anything. It's just too wet. So we've come back to the office. We've got some stone cladding that we need to take to site. So we thought, whilst it's wet, we might as well come back and just load that up, unload the tipper, which is full of waste and hardcore. So just trying to stay productive on a very wet, miserable day.
So yeah, today has been really quite horrible, like dramatically wet. I've been at one of our Godalming sites. I'd managed to carry on through majority of the rain, and it did come to a point where, do you know what, just had to stop. We were making more mess than we could have tried to fix. It would have caused long-term problems with the soil in compaction. Rain is really annoying when it's so heavy because it does stop us from working, and obviously stopping us from working means we can't maintain and create beautiful gardens, and it can be demoralising actually. As you're aware, winter is not a great time for gardeners. It's pretty horrible, it's pretty miserable. And in discussion with Ollie, one of the most important things about maintenance now this year is growth. It was really important for me to target exactly where clients are. So what I've done with this map, I've actually put us in the centre, and I've given it two sets of bands, green and orange. Green is within half an hour of our yard, and orange is up to an hour. These are the two bands that I'm happiest working in. It's to do with looking after our staff, making sure the staff don't have to work exceedingly long days to make the jobs profitable. At the same time, it's about ensuring that our clients are getting value for money. Because if I go further out of there, I'm going to charge them more and do much less hours, which doesn't work for them, and it's not fantastic for us. Obviously, if it's consultation or what I would call special projects, then that will come out of area. More than happy to do that. But certainly for regular and routine maintenance, it's important for both us as a business, but also for our clients, that we can get places quite quickly. We want to do as much work as we can. And so that map is effectively my war map.
Good morning. It is a pretty grim start to the week. Today is Tuesday. I didn't do any vlogging yesterday because I spent all day in a meeting with the development company that we are working with to develop what we are developing with Grab. So all will be revealed soon, as I've said, but it was a very, very intense meeting. Really excited, and it's at the phase of a startup now where money is now changing hands. So I mean, the meeting yesterday cost me £12,000. There you go. It's just what it costs dealing with professionals at this level, and obviously there is output from there. It wasn't just for their time. I'm getting physical, I'm getting the pitch deck in return, and then I'm also getting investor support from them in return. So it is absolutely amazing value for money, but it's a startup, it's a concept, it's an idea. We haven't raised any money yet. So this is the insane mental roller coaster that I guess anybody who's founded a company like this before has to go through and try and justify, and the amount of pressure it just puts on everything else I've got going on. And my personal finances are in a terrifying terrifying situation because of all of this. And it's really got me thinking, as the business owner of everything I've got going on, what part does it really play? Now, don't read into that and sort of panic. I'm not getting rid of Hardwood Landscapes. I should probably start with that. It is absolutely staying. It's a fantastic business I'm very proud of. But if you were starting a company and you're going to put as much time, effort, energy and resource into trying to get a business really going, choosing a landscaping company in the UK, risk-wise, is absolutely huge. The industry largely is full of incredibly passionate people and incredibly passionate horticulturalists, the significant majority of whom started a company as a one-man band. They enjoyed landscaping, they wanted to work for themselves. It was a good way of them, being paid fairly for their time and effort, but naturally through opportunity, perhaps not thoroughly analysed opportunity, they have grown, taken on a labourer and then another labourer, and then they've bought a second van and now they've got a little digger. And it just, you watch that natural progression, and I can see it in so many younger companies than me, and companies that are reaching out for sort of advice, and I get back to who I can, but I can't facilitate it all. I've just got in the back of my mind like, God, it's so hard for me to say to them, do you really, really know what you're getting into? Because when you're in that early growth stage where it's very low risk and you haven't gone through a hard time and everyone's willing to lend you money and everyone's willing to finance your assets, etc., there's very low barriers to entry for that growth. So you just keep growing and keep growing and keep growing, and then suddenly the business costs X amount of tens, if not hundreds of thousands of pounds a month just to keep afloat. So yeah, I thought the vlogs had lacked a bit of heart to heart from me recently to sort of where my head really is at with everything. But I'm battling through startups. The reason I'm doing the startup is, look, I come up with a new business idea every week. It's just in my nature, but this is the first one that really has had legs. I've always wanted to start a company that is truly scalable. There is, of course, in the back of my mind that's my opportunity to create genuinely life-changing wealth. That's why I'm working so hard on it. Hardwood Landscapes has always been and was always very much a lifestyle business for me as the founder. So I've got an amazing lifestyle business that is going to serve me well in years to come and be a really valuable resource for a lot of people with the importance of outdoor space. And then I've got this new company which is hopefully, and it's going to take a hell of a lot of work, but as someone who considers themselves an entrepreneur, it's a very important journey for me to commit to and try and keep these ideas alive and these ideas going. But yeah, I guess that's a bit of a look into my headspace. I think that transparency and just dump hasn't been clear enough in the vlogs recently. I want the relatability for people who watch them to be with a business founder, entrepreneur, someone who's really throwing everything they can at businesses rather than just look behind the scenes at our lovely, well-oiled company. Because in many parts that's what it is, but in many parts it's absolutely what it's not. Over in Godalming, Jay is in a destructive mood. He is hiding behind our neighbour's boundary, clearing their fence line and cutting down some laurel.
All right, Jay. Jay!
So I've got over my little heart attack of videographer creeping through the woods. One of the things with being a maintenance gardener, our job is not just to maintain the pretty things around, but actually I look at the entire garden. So in this one at the moment, I've been going along this particular fence line. It's a 10-acre fence line, and I've just been clearing all the fence line. I'm inspecting the fences as I'm going. I think that's what makes a difference between maybe a gardener and a true maintenance gardener is I'm looking at everything. So even in wintertime, there's still things for me to do because I'm going to be fixing this fence tomorrow in a few places where it's been damaged. So there you go, this is a good example of one that's currently damaging the fence line. It's not actually fallen, it's a laurel that has grown out and it's grown this way because it's trying to find some light over this direction away from these trees. But in doing so, as it's grown longer and longer, the weight has pushed the trunk down, which obviously is damaging the fence. It's been there for a while. So obviously this isn't particularly great. Now because we're in a bit of a copse in a clearing, no one around, and it's just us, so it's pretty safe. I'm not really going to faff around with this too much. I'm literally just going to take some of these side branches off, take the weight off, and then I'm just going to make some cuts up here and allow this end to drop down. And as that drops off, the aim should be that this trunk will then spring back up again. But because it's a laurel, it'll survive this hacking and butchery quite happily.
So just a few hundred metres away, our landscaping team are busy. We are working on the steps for this new patio, and Finn is single-handedly holding back the floodgates.
Today we are building the step, just slurrying up a slab here. We've got these are step treads. So we've got a drip edge along the front, and obviously we're leaving slurry just off of this front edge because it will be visible and you don't want the bottom of your slabs to be grey and horrible. So going in nice and thick with the slurry, and now it's going down to Andy. Let's get her down, boy. Come back a touch on my side. Yeah, that looks good to me. Look at Finn in his trench.
We've built a little pond. Because we're working on this bank, there's just so much moisture and water being held in this bank that it basically was running down and it was going all over our steps that we were trying to build. It was making it an impossible challenge. So we basically built this little canyon. I think we're going to have to actually deal with this somehow. Hopefully it will just sort of free drain into the soil a bit lower so the grass doesn't get killed, sort of thing. So we will do that, but for the time being we've just diverted it and created a lovely dam that Finn is in charge of today. Beaver Gregson. But yeah, our main objective today is getting the steps in. We've got two done so far, I've got 3 more to go. Yeah, closing in on this project now, which is nice.
Just checking what day it is. There we go. Good morning. It is Wednesday. I'm back in the car again. Sorry about that. I'm at the tail end of what's turned into just over 2-hour drive coming into central London. Looking forward though to heading over to Chelsea Flower Show. So we're heading over to the showgrounds before the show kicks off. So it's a good opportunity to actually see what that site looks like before it gets completely taken over. This morning has been a little bit all over the place. I have been on phone calls like this.
Was it built before 1980? Is there a risk of asbestos, yes or no? Run through it all, look at all of the sampling data and all the chemical analysis of the soil. If it's got low levels of silt and clay in it and it's quite high, like 60% timber and above or whatever, then I'll say which aggregate recovery sites, wash plants in the areas that you can send it to.
That on the phone there was Ben from Down to Earth Developments, who is a fountain of knowledge and is very good at throwing a million technical jargon sentences at you in a very short space of time. But don't worry, mate, if you've watched this, most of it has sunk in and I've taken it on board. The reason that we had to try and organise all of that very quickly at last minute is our grab truck is out working today, so we aren't meant to be working, but we have said yes to a job that we couldn't really say no to. We are heading to the cancer hospital at the Royal Surrey in Guildford. So it is our local sort of cancer care centre. Quite a few people within our network, especially who've been involved in this lorry, have been affected by cancer recently and are actually either in the hospital currently or have been very recently. They are having a new garden built. Landform are building their garden for them. They're doing as much as they can for them on a very shoestring budget. The job has evolved and needed some waste removal that wasn't budgeted for, so they've asked if to support the new garden going in, if we would help. So of course we have said yes. And special thank you as well to Tom, who is driving the truck for us. He's not our full-time driver. He has jumped in to help with this special project, working for an amazing cause over at the Cancer Hospital in Guildford. I did consider sort of styling this out and pretending it didn't happen, but of course it's going to be obvious to quite a few people it has happened because I will have been saying I was here when no one else is here. I'm not entirely sure how it's happened, but I got the date wrong. So I put it in my diary for today, which is, believe it or not, very unlike me. I'm pretty on it with my diary. So I have to be. But yeah, got it wrong. It's actually tomorrow. So I thought I'd come over anyway. I can still see everything I was going to see. I can still see where our plot is going to be, and I can still see the site empty. I mean, that is insane. It's my first time here seeing nothing. It's incredible. Of course, it's the Royal Chelsea Hospital behind me. The transformation this place goes through in a 3-week build time is absolutely phenomenal. So, I mean, we're about there is where our plot's going to be. So we are on the front corner. If you do come to Chelsea Flower Show and you want to see the David Harbour stand that we are building, that's the main hospital. You've got your avenue along here. This is Main Avenue, and we are on the top, as you look at the hospital, top corner, top left-hand corner of Main Avenue. Everything else I've had scheduled in for today is for today, so it hasn't been a complete disaster. Remaining positive, not going to try and style it out and pretend I was here on the right day, because I wasn't, but still saw everything I needed to. Chelsea Gardens for the Royal Chelsea Hospital. So in the office, there's a bit of a last-minute panicked clean going on because we've got Pro Landscaper coming down to talk about our grab truck.
I am continuing with maintenance, but just like charity starts at home, maintaining starts with maintaining the office. So as the office was disgusting, filthy, I thought, you know what, I'm here. Before I do anything else, let's give it a good old clean, because cleaning the office in my head is gonna just make everybody feel that much happier when they're working and helping to provide a comfortable and happy working environment. Not glamorous, but just as important. There is no occasion needed for a clean office, although the reality is we've got Pro Landscaper coming on later, so I thought I'd earn a few brownie points. What was that? Oh, I broke the bucket. Oops. Don't tell Ollie. It'll be okay.
Good afternoon. It's Thursday and it is an absolutely beautiful day. It's one of those winter's days that you can't really help but feel positive. You can actually feel the sun on your skin. I've seen a load of snowdrops opening, which is always a good sign, and there are some buds on quite a lot of trees. Wasn't the most positive start to the day because I had, for the first time ever, I've never ever had it, and I've always been weirdly proud of that. Never had food poisoning. I got it last night and it was from an APL cluster meeting, a new one. So as amazing as the APL is, and you know I bang on about them a lot, that was a rough ride last night, and compared with having done a leg day in the gym, I feel completely battered today, but we are remaining positive. It was short, it was intense, and we're over it. There's a bit of oversharing for you, but this is a vlog, so deal with it. What have I been up to today? Well, this morning has been a bit all over the place, as it always is for me. I started the day over with our grab truck. We are tying up the last little bits. In this case, we thought the batteries are on their way out. It's been confirmed over the last couple of days. We're hoping that that is going to be pretty much the last thing that truck needs now, because in 10 days it's going to be out running, hopefully pretty much full time, which is amazing. Someone else interested in the grab truck is Pro Landscaper. So they've seen it all over socials. We've obviously been making a bit of noise about it. Nina and Beth were keen to come down and have a chat, so they came and did a little interview with me this morning about grab trucks, why we're doing it, everything about the brand, what we want to achieve, etc., how it fits into the existing companies we've got, and they're going to be writing up an article about it. So that's great. Any press is good press. Thank you guys. I will keep doing insane, barely justifiable business moves to keep your content fresh. So yeah, always appreciate the publicity. And I'm now on my way over to Godalming. So I'm going to go over and check on the guys there, see how the site is going. Hopefully they're making some good progress in this good weather. So I will check in with you over in Godalming very shortly. Wasn't lying. Pulled the camera back out on our very, very lovely Godalming site. The guys are pretty much there with the paving. Finn has just turned up in the tipper with the very last little bits of MOT and sharp sands to do the very last of the slabs, which is very exciting, but I will take you around there now and look at all these lovely details. The guys are nearly there. This manhole's been cut in really nicely. The drainage all looks really sharp, and you will see we haven't quite made it onto the cladding yet. It was delivered a couple of days later than we thought it was going to be, but we've got all the feature panels ready. This is all of the stone that we've got from All Green. So this is all the cladding that we're going to be using to match and tie into. It is actually very close in colour to all of that, but it's quite dusty. But it's all going to be going onto these panels. And then once on those panels, what we will do is similar to all of this, is we will point it all, fill in all the gaps, and then we'll rake out the pointing, so it's the same finish as these walls here. But yeah, it is looking great, and it's very, very nearly done. And we reckon by the end of next week, we're going to be pretty much out of here, provided there's no little extras sort of added on. We'll get the lighting in, we'll get the walls clad, we'll get all of this flow pointed. So it's a big area, but with flow point, it won't take long. And then only little thing, only other little detail that I've got the guys to do is we're going to be pulling this mortar out on these steps, because you're going to be able to see the side of those. It's always extra nice as well when your clients invite your dogs out of the car to have a run around. These guys always get a good run when I visit this job. As you can see, Spaniel Paradise. We're going to give them a quick run now before they go back in the car and I need to drive off to the next meeting. But first we are going to hand over some of the socks, the new big boot socks, to some of the guys. I'll be acting cameraman, because as you can tell there is no cameraman here, so I'll try and figure it out. Bear with me. There you go. Thank you, mate. There you go.
Thank you very much. Oh, two pairs. I can't even feel them. I've got my gloves.
Twin pack. Smile.
Never been happier. Thanks, mate.
Looking good. That really is one of my favourite places I think that we've ever worked, and that's got it genuinely has nothing to do with the work itself, but the guys really like working there, and I really like working for those clients, and we always go a little bit above and beyond for them, because I think in the 2 years that we've been working with them now to create various spaces in their gardens, I don't think there's been a single time where they haven't come out, made the effort to come out and see me, and genuinely and wholeheartedly thanked me for the work that Hardwood are doing there. They're just really appreciative, really lovely people, and it just makes the world of difference. So if you are having work done, if there are tradesmen in your house, landscapers in your garden, be positive to the guys and girls, the teams on site. They will always go above and beyond and do that little bit more. If you say thank you, it doesn't take a lot, but it means a huge amount. That isn't the only site I'm taking you today. I'm actually passing you over to Jay now, who has headed down to Lewis to catch up with Harry and Duncan on their landscaping site. We have just been commissioned for an extras project there. We're now doing a second phase of works, which hopefully, provided the materials arrive on time, we will just go straight into. So yeah, good progress. It's coming on well. Let's go see how the guys down in Lewis are getting on.
Hello, people. We're back down in Lewis on a nice sunny Thursday afternoon, cracking on with this lovely little project. Some greenery going in now, as you can see, bringing the garden to life. Me and Duncan smashing it out. Matt's skived off to Rome, selfishly left us in the mud, no pun intended. But yeah, made some good progress. Since last week, I think it's this whole top section. So we've just built it up in layers using the Type 1. I really couldn't get my head around how it was going to work at first, but it just really came together. Literally just building up in layers, putting one steel in, going up another layer, chucking the soil in at different heights as well. Did a bit of soil prep yesterday, got the beds ready for the designers to come along and put the plants in, which look really nice.
It's moved on a lot since you last here. The boys have been slaving away at putting these Core-10 steps in, which are looking like better than expected actually. Really, really happy with it. Turned out just how we wanted it, and the guys have been fabulous. We've been doing this area on the side. It's really funny because it sort of came quite flat and came down on a retaining wall here, and it had some raspberries and it was just overgrown. So actually we've opened the space up, and it feels, this decking across here, well, the decking in this area is just so much more usable. So yeah, that as you come down the stairs, it's a bit more tall, and as you come down here, we've put in a lovely Amelanchier and then 2 Malice. So you just flow through down the stairs. This side is Breeza, and we've got some really nice Amsonia orientalis. So it just is like just a little bit of playfulness.
So yeah, it's been a good week. Lots of progress, really come to life now. And yeah, like I said, the greenery has definitely helped in that aspect of things.
So it's Friday, and following a successful meeting, a new project we've just won, I've popped over to see my good friend Ollie Corkery and his amazing development. That is very nearly done. I think everything's sold. One sale pulled out, so it went back on the market, but they're expecting to have that sorted pretty soon. But yeah, it looks amazing. Really good finish on all the houses. It's just great, yeah, great to see someone who's a year or so ahead in all of this, and having stuck with it and followed the process that we're now getting into, what it can all turn into. So yeah, very inspiring. Thank you, Ollie.
This is one of our 4 beds. The purchaser of this unit, they was one of the first ones to get in on the site. So they've made loads of changes. Changed the colour of the kitchen, the layout of the kitchen. They've changed the doors. They've extended the gap here, so it's more open plan into the living room. But it looks lovely. Feels like yesterday, mate. I was looking on my desktop, sending this plot of land letter, and I was actually contemplating whether or not to send this one a letter.
Yeah.
But I still sent it anyway, and that's the one we got.
The acquisition of Jay has not only elevated the horticultural services here at Hardwood Landscapes, but we are now offering training, something that he's really enjoying. Today we are going out to train some fellow horticulturalists, but we're also offering those services to homeowners.
We're Grayshaw & Yo Gardening Company, and we have about 40 gardeners in about 200 gardens in Surrey. And what we like to do is bring the team together, offer them training. We're always trying to upskill people, and me and Jay work together to bring on the industry, bring on the knowledge, and help people learn about things that they maybe slightly think they know about or have an inkling about, but actually need that broader knowledge, which is where Jay steps in and helps us.
So at this time of year, we're going to want to create our knuckles. I'm going to get you guys to have a little cut around on this. So just find some bits of plants, use your secateurs. Please be very, very careful. Remember, the floor is uneven, wet and slippy. Emily and Jude's teams have skills that we can utilise and ask them to help us with. And likewise, we have abilities, so we have some bigger machineries, we have more vehicles, that when there may be bigger jobs that need sometimes just a little bit of grunt work, Emily and Jude have asked us to help them out. And everybody obviously knows that I'm doing my masters. I've been doing it for a long time, which means that I'm able to bring a level of horticulture ability to pass on, and that's where I'm helping Emily and Jude with their teams.
It's a really great team and a great relationship that we've got between our 2 companies.
Yeah. It's a nice collaboration.
I'm
really enjoying it.
Yeah, it's really great.
Not only have we been down to see Ollie's development and everything they've got going on there, but we're now down at Corker Landscape Supplies, which is his landscape supply company. It's his family business, founded by his parents, now run by him. Always very lovely to come down here, always very inspiring. They're very forward thinking with all these little show gardens they've got. And yeah, it's great. And Corker are sponsoring our Chelsea build for 2025. So we've got a fantastic range of new grey limestone, which they have had shipped over from Egypt for us to have a look at. We're really happy with it. We're going to send it over to David Harbour and their team shortly. So they'll have it within the next few days so they can sign it off. But yeah, these guys are going to be donating and sponsoring all of the hard landscape materials that you're going to see on that stand, which is really exciting for me. It's, you know, any opportunity to work with people that we really like just makes it, yeah, that bit more exciting really. Ollie's going to come down during the show while we're installing everything so they can shoot some content. It's obviously good exposure for them being up there. This is a brand that they are really going to be pushing and growing over the next few years. So we're really excited to sort of grow with them. We're talking about sponsorship of our YouTube channel from Corker, and a bit of a proper collaboration. Again, exciting because it's just more young, exciting, boundary pushing energy, which our industry really needs. So yeah, wrapping up now. We're going to head home, do some work, and we're nearly at the end of the week.
Do you know what? I think it went quite well. I enjoyed it. I think all of the ladies got a lot out of it. It was nice to be able to collaborate and kind of share some of the knowledge and skills that I've acquired over the years. It's great for us as a business as well because it shows that we've got a multitude of skills that we can utilise, but also it helps other gardeners by saying there is another company here who's got the skills and equipment to be able to assist you. So following on from this morning, I discussed this apple tree with them, but the actual main tree is actually dead. I've explained this to the client and we came to the decision that in reality, we're just going to get rid of it. So I'm going to chainsaw it to the ground, and that's when the job passes straight back to Jude and Emily, who organised this morning. So yeah, this is assisting them, chopping that down, and whilst I'm doing that, Finn is hacking away at the wisteria, which seems brutal, but we're doing it so we can actually protect the main stem of that wisteria. So long term, that wisteria stays alive.
So that's it. Another episode of Learning the Hard Way has made it out onto YouTube. We are in our 50s and looking forwards to bringing you next week. It's the line that I struggle with the most every single week, but please make sure you like, subscribe, comment, engage however you want to with these videos. We really, really appreciate it. I'll see you next week.